Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Ideas Edition podcast. And in this episode, I am really excited because I am interviewing the one and only Don Vincent, and he's actually the president and founder of New Health Plan. This is an amazing product line that focuses on the private marketplace of health insurance, non-ACA. And if you're an agent that sells ACA, you can probably imagine how hard it is for a client that makes a higher income to sell that client because of price and affordability. And I think this product line is gonna solve a huge problem in the marketplace right now. And I have the best person here to tell you all about it. So we want to learn from a little bit from him, and I'm so happy to get some time to interview him today. So thank you for being here, Don.
Jorge, thank you for the invitation.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Excellent, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful weather here in Orlando.
I know you came from Nashville, right?
Yeah, cold there when we left, but we've had a great week here in Florida, a lot of sunshine.
Awesome. And thank you for being here, spending the time in the Sunshine State. So tell me a little bit about you. I know over 30 years in the insurance industry.
I got in this industry 34 years ago.
Wow.
Came over from the real estate market.
Are you kidding me? Real estate.
And back in the late 80s, real estate market got tight, as a lot of our viewers understand. And by fluke, I went to meet with some insurance guys. Now, no one grows up and thinks they want to be an insurance agent.
I know. That's so true.
So true. But, I looked at it and I saw the opportunity to leverage market share and build residual wealth. And I know that's a big portion of what you do here at the Idea Agency. And we saw that then, and we realized that we can help so many people, and by helping other people, we can always be blessed.
Wow.
And that was very important to us.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's one of the reasons why I love insurance so much, because we're helping people,
yes.
But at the same time, we're changing our lives. We're making good income.
Yes.
We're providing support for our family. So it's like a win-win for everybody.
It's a win-win.
So amazing. And so you got into insurance business in the 80s from the real estate.
So I was in the real estate in the 80s. In the early 90s, I got in the insurance business. Okay. I struggled for a couple of years because I think we all have to find our walk in that world, and started out as a life guy, and I got into investments. And what I come to understand was I needed to sell something that people were shopping for. And it turned out that it was health insurance.
Wow.
And so for all these years, I've stayed in the health business in what we call the underage, the under 65 space. Mm-hmm. And so our specialty, and guys, it's our company's Next Health Plan. We're out of Nashville, but we work in 36 states, got a lot of great agents out there. They'll be surprised to see I'm doing a podcast for you. But I'll be sure to pass that around. And so we like the underage market, and there's so many people out there that are struggling to buy coverage because of affordability.
Yeah.
Wow. That's our specialty. So we're working in the private space, working with people. No one should go uninsured, right?
I agree.
Everyone should have something. And it's true, its form. Health insurance is a funding mechanism. It's designed to help people to pay claims, and no one should be worried about having a claim they can't afford.
Wow.
Makes a difference.
It does. It does, because on the life side, it's you only use it most of the time when the person's not here anymore.
Yeah, you never really use it, right? You let your family take advantage of that. And I was doing life and doing well with life, working for a big 5 company. However, most people I would talk to would say, I've got life insurance, but do you have a health plan?
Wow.
Do you have a health plan? And I know you've been very successful in your career, but people will ask you for what they're shopping for.
Yep.
And so you need to have that tool in your box, as we say. And health insurance is not a primary line for a lot of your agents, but a lot of your agents are working with people who are shopping for it. Mm-hmm. Don't leave that sale. Help that person. Take advantage of helping that person and grow wealth.
Yeah. And how that transition helped you? So did you start selling under 65 at that time?
When I got in the health business, it was always under 65, as was my life. I was doing under 65 life, because I was working primarily with business owners.
Okay.
But I'll tell you a quick funny story. My life sales the first year that I did health plans, my life sales that first year doubled. And the reason was I doubled my customer count.
There you go. Okay.
And so because I doubled my customer count, I doubled my life sales.
This is so amazing, because that is our strategy. We tell agents, like, all your marketing efforts should go towards getting a health client. Once you have that health client and you help them, then you promote them a life product or whatever product you
So
have.
in our world, and I'm sorry I'm a hand talker.
No, you're good. Right?
In our world, we talk about the core benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll go into a business, we'll go into a home. We're primarily B2B, but we can sell to anyone. But we talk about selling that core benefit. So people without a health plan don't need life insurance. They need a health plan.
Wow.
Even if you die, you have a health claim.
There
right?
you go. Yeah.
People without a health plan don't need dental and supplemental insurance. They need a health plan. So we want to sell the core benefit. I think if you control the core benefit, you become the agent for the other products.
Wow.
And now you do investments. You do investments, right?
Yeah. Annuities, IULs.
We don't do those, but those are so important. But they're going to do that with people they trust. If you do their health, they're going to have a health claim that's going to be larger than their investments. They need to protect their investments with a health plan.
Wow.
Don't you think that's true?
That is so amazing perspective.
You've got to have that, right? So when you're building wealth, and you know, I'm a trained financial guy, but if you're looking at a wealth pyramid, if you've ever seen the wealth building pyramid, what's at the very bottom of that? It's life insurance.
Yeah.
Everything's built on life insurance. Now, what supports life insurance is health insurance.
Health insurance.
If you don't have health insurance, you don't need life insurance.
There you go.
You have to build it. Now, I'm selfish in that because I'm just a health guy, but I think it's very true.
It is so true. And
look at it.
And thank you for that perspective, because the client needs to know that.
They need to know
that's their priority.
Build around that.
And then we build around that. Yes.
So I've been in this health space for 34 years. I can tell you there's never been a better time for customers to have choices in the health market. Okay, everybody can buy something now. Because of what President Obama did with the ACA, the people that have sickness and pre-existing conditions, they have a guaranteed place to go.
Yeah.
Now that's a positive, right?
Yeah.
The downside is that guarantee has caused rates to go up.
Yep.
Because we've pushed a lot of sick people into the market. And when you push in claims, you push up price.
Yep.
Right? Just like life insurance. If you got great health, you can buy a cheap rate. If you got bad health, you may not even be able to buy.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of people in our markets been pushed out of affordability, and that's our space. We do a variety of different private health plans. They're available to people year-round. We're not seasonal, so 52 weeks a year they can shop with us. They can buy in person. They can buy over the phone. Wow. They can buy through the internet. Yeah. They have to work with an agent because that's for their protection. We don't want them to buy something and not understand it. We want them to meet with one of your professionals, right? And have access to that. We work with all the major networks of PPOs across the country.
That's amazing.
You need that. You need a system that delivers, right? Plan that won't work is not a good plan.
Yep.
Not a good plan.
That's amazing. How is this product solving the need of that niche right now? So what have you seen?
So I would say primarily number one is affordability.
Okay.
You have to be able to afford your health plan. You can have the best health plan on the market, and if you can't renew it next month, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
Right? That's true. Affordability is one.
Wow.
And number one. Number two is you want to sell a health plan that has benefits, not just an insurance card.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of companies will sell you an insurance plan, but you can never meet your deductible. So
you can never use it.
No, you don't benefit from it.
So these products, they can benefit from them right away.
We have deductibles as low as $250.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Right? And so people look at that and they go, hey, I can afford to use that, right? That's a good phrase, afford to use it, right?
That's amazing. And how long do you started selling this particular line of products?
Like so the line I'm talking about in the moment has been around about a year and a half.
A year and a half.
That's so Florida.
So back in the 90s, because you've been in the business so longer than me.
Yep.
Like I got licensed 2011.
Yeah.
I've experienced a little bit of the under 65.
Well, put that in perspective.
Underwriting.
The ACA passed in 2010, so you got in right after it came, right?
Yeah.
But I've seen all these things.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of, I remember a very young family. We can insure if they were healthy for maybe $300 to $400 a month.
Right.
And then ACA came, and that same family, if they were making money, now it costs triple.
Or more.
Or more, right?
Yeah. So all this happened. The coverage has not gotten better.
Yeah. So that happened in 2014, and then you cannot go back to it. They had some guaranteed renewability, but then like by 2016 or 17, it was like all ACA, and then as we move into the 2020s, 2021, then we saw even some of these short-term medical plans. Now, like they don't want to cover you, you got to renew them every year.
Yeah.
So this product solves all of
So this
all-
product's
also-
guaranteed renewable
Yep.
to age 65 for an agency like yours that works right into your main line of Medicare.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And so you keep these people under coverage and they get your good service.
Mm-hmm.
You got a very reputable company here. They want to take advantage of that, right? People want to be where they feel they can trust.
Exactly.
That's
Wow.
key. That's key. Insurance is so difficult to understand. You need somebody you can believe in.
Yeah.
Right? Believe in your agent.
That's amazing.
So key.
That's amazing. As far as agents, let's see, because for us, we want professional agents. We want agents that are very well trained in the product so that they can explain it to the client.
Yes.
But at the same time, they got to be good at marketing and they got to be good at recruiting if they want to build a downline.
Yes.
What are some tips you can give with your experience on
Well,
that?
I love that question. I think with marketing is you need to ask everybody
Everybody.
where they get their health plan. It's a question.
Wow.
I mean, because everybody, and I'm going to train some guys for you later, right? I'm going to say this to them as well, but I'll say it to you right now. Everybody in Florida has a health plan. Everybody. But not everybody has health insurance. But they've got a plan. No one's out in the street dying from cancer. They've got a plan. If they get sick, they're going to go to the ER. If they get sick, they're going to have a claim and file bankruptcy, but they've got a plan. And I'm a proponent is don't get a plan, get insurance so you've got somebody to pay the bill. Insurance is a funding mechanism.
Wow.
Got to put it in front of people, right? Now, I would say to you that I asked everybody that I talked to when I was in the field a long time ago. But when I was in the field, I asked them this question and I kept notes of where people were. So the second thing I would say to you is that everybody goes to market at least 1 month out of the year. Now, that doesn't require open enrollment, but when you get a rate increase, do you go to market?
Of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
quick for you to market. So everybody gets a rate increase every year. It's the way it works.
Mm.
So if I've got a list of 3,000 people that I've spoken to this year and I've got them in the system, we call it an X-dating system, and I'll be glad to share this with you when we get through with the podcast, but your agents have 3,000 buyers.
Yep.
Now, they're not buying from them yet, but they're going to buy, and in the next 12 months, they're going to get pushed to market.
Wow. That's a great perspective.
They'll come back and shop with you. They're going to shop with someone.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they shop with you? They've met you, right? Keep in touch with these people. Put a drip campaign together. Keep them warm. Let them know you're here waiting for them to come to market.
Wow.
Now, that works in open enrollment, but guess what? Open enrollment's 60 days a year.
Yep.
Why don't we do this all year round?
Wow.
Right? And so when you get that, you've got this big drip campaign coming. I like to see a big funnel. You can see a big marketing funnel. I'm putting them in the top. They're coming out the bottom.
Yeah.
But when they come out, they're not even leads. They're buyers.
They're buyers, all right.
They're buyers. Yeah. Oh, it's such an easy way to handle yourself. Key is you've got to put the people in the system.
Wow. How do you get that people to put into your funnel? Like, what are some of the strategies
it depends
guys
on how
have
you like
help?
the market, right? Again, we're under 65. So for my company, we teach agents how to go out and make sales calls. We go out and we basically do a health survey.
Awesome.
Right? We ask questions. Hey, do you need a low-cost health plan? Yes or no? If they say no, we say, well, that's great to hear. Well, you're happy. When do you renew? And guess when? They're not going to be happy when they renew, right? You don't hear about rates going down, do you? Or ours going up. So if you renew in August, I know under federal law, you've got to get at least a 30-day notice on your rate increase. So I need to be there in July. Okay.
Wow.
Now,
that's amazing.
If I had 500 people this month, they're going to renew next month. I'd be busy.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Go see these people.
That's
now,
great.
You can do it on the phone. The problem with the phone is most people don't answer their phone anymore.
Yeah. You got to be creative about
Show up.
phones. Yeah.
Show up.
Yeah. Door-to-door still works.
Well, I mean, that's how they buy. They buy door to door. We want to sell differently. We want to sell differently. I think it's convenience. I think there's some fear involved. There's some anticipation, some anxiety. But they want to buy from somebody they've met.
Exactly.
That they've got a relationship with. You have to go see them to sell them.
Yeah.
Go see them to start to sell with marketing. Right? Make a sales call.
Yeah. And the phones help set appointments.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
But while you're trying to get me on the phone, I can go out and see 20 people without the phone, and they'll see me because I show up. Versus you're on the phone, you're leaving voicemails, and I'm walking in setting appointments.
Yep.
Again, it depends on what your level of I'm going to say commitment. What's your level of commitment to your career? I think you're talking about building these podcasts out for people to help strengthen their career. And I think if you're going to have a career, you're going to have to do things you haven't done.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
It's
awesome.
not a job.
That
It's a
is
business.
that is awesome. Yeah,
Even the people that work for you as agents, it's a business.
it is a business. It is a business.
Treat it like one.
Yeah. And talking about that, let's say um, we call it the pathway to agency. So what we teach the agents is, we help you get 300 to 500 clients.
Yes.
That's your solid income coming in, right?
Yes.
But then after that, how you make more? Okay, well, now that you know the product, that you know how to sell, that you already mastered this, well, now you can teach others the same.
Absolutely.
And then we start talking a little bit to them about recruiting. I know you do that a lot for with your product line, right? There's a lot of recruitment of agents involved because it's so unique.
Yep.
What are some of the strategies you implement in your business that maybe one of our agents can
I think it's a great question. I think number one, understand the market here is universal, that everybody's got a health plan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm speaking under 65.
Yeah.
But there's no one in Florida without a health plan. So the market's huge, number one. Number two, it's a price-driven scenario. So I don't have to be competitive on coverage. Now, coverage is very important, but it's not what they're shopping for. How long since you shopped your auto insurance?
I don't know, man. 2 or 3 years maybe.
But if you shopped, you wouldn't be shopping over coverage. You'd be shopping over cost.
Always.
Always.
Yeah.
That's the way a health plan starts. So we want to find that point of interest based on the cost. Go to the pain.
That's the pain point.
That's the pain point, right? And once you find somebody with a pain point, they're listening to what you've got. And they're going to say, hey, I like that price. How does that plan work? Now, that's what I would want to say to your people. If I were training your people, that's how I would set it up. And I would want them to know we're a tool in the box, but we're a core product tool. If you went out to sell seniors, which I would believe is your Medicare and your annuity market, you're going to start with that core product. You're going to put in an MA or a SUP. Then you're going to work around that. Maybe you're going to put in some dental, some vision. You're going to talk about investments, right? But you're going to start with your core product. That's their pain point.
There you go.
So we're in the same business. We're just working with a younger
crowd. Oh, man, love that. Okay. Love that. Let's change gears a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to ask you some questions about, man, in just this 15 minutes, you bring such a wealth of knowledge. What are some of those things, Don, that have influenced you or taken you to where you are in your life right now?
Honest answer?
Honest, man. Honest.
Faith.
Oh, man.
Faith.
Yeah. Why is that?
I think you have to be a believer. I mean, I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but that's my honest answer.
Yeah,
you have to be a believer, and I think God's blessing those that believe, and you have to apply yourself, and you can't bless others without being blessed on your own. So you have to take it that way.
Oh man, that's so amazing.
So I think that people would study their faith. Number one. Number two is find books. Try to self-educate. Meet people. In my day, when I learned to do this, a long time ago, there wasn't an internet, believe that or not, and it wasn't any cell phones, right? We had a bag of quarters, so we knew where the payphones were. But I've met all the great sales trainers. I've worked with Zig Ziglar and Tom Hopkins and Brian Tracy. And
you met them in person?
Yeah, probably.
Man, I've read all of those books.
Yeah,
wow.
Me too. That's how I went to their seminars. Probably my favorite is Tony Robbins.
Wow. Yeah, Tony's still around.
Still around, right?
Yeah.
So
wow.
I've got ideas from those guys, and now you can get for free on YouTube. I used to have to get in the car and go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And I think number one, get your faith in order. Number two, seek out sources of greater knowledge.
Wow.
Okay? Self-educate.
Love that.
Meet guys like me, because guess what? I met guys like me. Not that I'm anybody, but everything that we know, we learn from someone else.
Yeah,
very few new ideas in our market. Right?
Wow. That is so true. I love that. What are some of those sales books that maybe impacted you? And you mentioned some authors already.
So I'll give you two. I've got two I give everybody. It's kind of my base two. Number one, I think, is the old standard Think and Grow Rich. Have you actually read that book?
Napoleon Hill?
Yes.
I read it a long time ago, man. Changed my mindset.
No, change your mindset about how you deliver yourself, right? And so I would say Think and Grow Rich. I would say How to Win Friends and Influence People. So many people, I've got boxes of those in my office in Nashville. We still give those out because a lot of people don't know how to communicate correctly, right?
Yeah.
And that never gets old. And probably the one book, and this is going to be an odd one, but I'll give it to you. The one book that helped me when I bought this company and started Next Health Plan and created my little universe here. Give God that credit. But after that point, I still needed tools. I found that Tony Robbins book called Awaken the Giant Within.
Wow.
Talked about personal self-development, and that was a big deal for me.
Wow.
That was my first Tony Robbins book, and then it was a tape, and then it was I went to meet, right? Because I had to get that because it spoke to me. I think we find things that speak to us on our needs, right?
Yeah. That's
The old prophecy about when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. And I've met those people in my life, and I bet you have as well.
yeah.
You've met people like that.
Oh my God. You cannot. If you ever interview me, that's amazing, man. 2 more questions.
Sure.
So in this industry, you've been in this industry for a very long time.
Yes.
What has been the best advice somebody has given you in this industry?
You know what? That's a great question. I'm gonna tell you this. I heard from a guy one time when I was about to quit.
Wow.
And of course we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
This is early on,
Frustrated.
and I couldn't make it work for me.
Yeah. Grinding it, and
He said, treat it like you own it.
treat it like you own it.
Like a business. If you owned a business, if you opened a brick and mortar shop and you had money invested, you'd have a different perspective. This industry's tough. I don't mean it's bad. I mean it's tough. You've got to work tough, right? You've got to apply yourself, and you've got to do it every day. You got to treat it like you own it, because we treat things we own differently than things we do.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
That just happened. I just said that.
That's
Yeah.
That's so true. I think agents need that perspective.
Yeah, I think you have to own it, because so many agents try.
Yeah, sometimes because it doesn't cost them birth to nothing to get a license.
It's free to quit,
and
right?
it's free to quit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they're not like we've got big, I've got a big operation, you've got a big operation here. If we were to get out, it would be a big get out process. It'd be expensive.
Yeah.
And so I think agents that work every day, agents that keep track of their time. When I first got in this industry, again, struggling to figure out my path in life, I met a guy, he wrote Stephen Covey. You ever heard of Stephen Covey?
Yeah.
So I went to his seminar in Knoxville, Tennessee. It was 7 Habits of Highly
Effective People. Yeah,
I was struggling with time management. I went to his seminar, and then after the seminar, I hung around to meet the guy. And so I got into that world of time management, and I realized that, hey, I've got a lot of time that I'm not using correctly. And that was another game changer.
Wow.
You're really making me think today.
Oh, man.
These are things I haven't thought about in a long time.
Love that. Last question.
Yeah.
If you had to give an advice to your 20-year-old younger self, what would you tell him?
I would tell him to avoid a job at all costs. Number one, don't get a job. You're never going to make any money working for somebody else. Number two, I would tell him to develop your communication skills, because most people are not effective communicators. They're just not. They're not geared to that. We're not taught that.
Yeah.
And I don't mean public speaking. I mean this.
Yeah.
I mean being able to approach people and ask questions.
They're afraid to get on the phones. They're afraid to talk about something.
Understand that the biggest tool you have is your ability to communicate.
Wow.
Selling is not hard when they're buying. Now catch that. Selling is not hard when they're buying. It becomes transactional. And if you can move a customer to a point of a transaction, they're buyers. All you got to do is complete the sale. Yeah. And so my best salespeople hardly ever talk about missing a deal, because they're just filling orders. They've already done the work. The selling starts when you set the appointment, not when you come back to close the deal.
Wow.
Right?
I love that. It's so true.
It's just different. And so you've got to quit thinking about that. My closing ratio when I was selling was almost 100%. Not that I'm a great salesperson, but because I was a great marketer. I understood how to set the right appointment with the right customer, and I brought the product that met the need that they presented.
Wow.
Right?
That's amazing.
Makes a difference.
Thank you so much, Don.
My pleasure, sir.
It was amazing. Any final thoughts for our agents, brokers?
No. Guys, if you're looking at this company, great people here, very reputable, and there's many blessings to be had here. Come take a hard look.
Thanks. And guys, Don Vincent, he's been amazing. Pleasure to have you here, Don. It was an amazing podcast. Guys, share this information with somebody that might need this information. If they haven't heard about this unique product line, make sure you comment us, call us here at Idea Insurance. We're more than happy to give you more information about it. And guys, I'll see you at the next Idea Solution podcast. Take care.